Welcome to episode 11 of the Deficient Vegans podcast. I'm the Muscle Deficient Vegan here with the Protein Deficient Vegan. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi. So it's been a little while since we had our last episode. We've actually gone through a lot of changes with the website and kind of the way we're structuring things. So we wanted to reset a little bit before we kept up on this path. We had the Vegans Fitness website for a while. We've actually split it up now into the proteindeficientvegan.com website, which is mostly food and recipes focusing on protein, all vegan, obviously. And then we have also the muscledeficientvegan.com website, which is more around fitness and general health and nutrition type information. Seemed easier to split this up a little bit because some people really only have an interest in one or the other. If you have an interest in both, we do kind of cross-link between the websites and stuff like that. So anyway, with those updates, we'll have those links in the show notes, and we can move forward from here.
Pretend this is season 2.
Yeah. So in this episode, we're going to talk about what does it actually mean for a food to be, quote, high protein.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of different marketing terms out there for food in general, but protein is one of them. You'll see foods that say they're high protein. You look on the label, it's not necessarily that high protein. You see foods that say just protein. What does that mean? Almost all food has protein. So they're just trying to use that as a marketing term to get people to buy it, even if it's not really a high protein food.
They're liars.
Sometimes. Yeah, it does seem that way.
They just want your money.
You're right. So high protein food in general, why do you even want to eat a high protein food? It helps you get closer to your daily protein goal. We've covered protein goals on a couple of the previous episodes and also on the website. And we'll have a link to a blog article about protein goals in the show notes here. So we're not going to cover that end of it too much. We're just going to talk about the food itself and what makes it high protein.
Basically, if you have a calorie target and a protein target, there's going to be a certain percentage of your calories that are coming from protein. So the way I like to think about it when I'm eating food is that the food I'm eating, I want it to be a similar percentage of protein to my overall target.
Yeah, that makes sense. And if you look at the label on some food and you don't actually do the math yourself, you might not really realize how little protein is actually in it. And you could end up kind of wasting calories that you thought were going to help with your protein goals, but actually don't end up doing it because you didn't do the math, even though you really shouldn't have to if a food says high protein. But again, because of some of the marketing issues, you do have to check it.
Yeah, I've seen some things that say like high protein, and then you look at the back and it's like 250 calories, and maybe you get 7 grams of protein, which is pretty bad.
Yeah, not great.
I wouldn't call that high protein.
Yeah, and so that's a big issue with a lot of foods on nutrition labels. But at least on a food like that, you can do the math and look at the nutrition label.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about recipes you might find on the internet. And if you guys have seen our site, we like listing all the macros out with the recipes. A lot of recipes don't have that information listed and really almost don't even have it available in a lot of cases.
Yeah. One of my biggest annoyances when I would be looking for recipes is like you go to the recipe and A, maybe it's not even there, but B, maybe it is there, but you have to scroll all the way through. So like I had to open your recipe that you said was high protein, scroll all the way through it. Now I finally get to the nutrition information at the bottom and it is definitely not high protein. And now I'm annoyed.
Yeah. And then you sometimes won't even have it at the bottom. You have to go and put it all in MyFitnessPal manually. And you're like, oh, I'm putting this high protein thing in MyFitnessPal. And you get all the way to the end of it. And it turns out it's like 6% protein. And you're like, great, I'm glad I used all that time on something useful.
And if you're a recipe creator that does this to me, I will never, ever go to your thing again. For the rest of my life, you will be banished in my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. And, you know, there's definitely a place for recipes like that. But if you call it a high protein recipe or a protein recipe.
Yeah. I think you have to be pretty careful about what you're calling protein and high protein. Like, we intentionally try to make sure we don't list anything as high protein that isn't at least 25%.
Yeah.
Based on, because we enter everything in MyFitnessPal. So if it says it's 25% or above in MyFitnessPal, we label it as high protein on our blog.
Yeah. And so there are some ways you can check without having to go through all that trouble to put it into MyFitnessPal or even do like some mental math. There are some things you can just kind of look at in a recipe and have some common sense, like, is this recipe going to be something that is actually high protein? So
yeah, one of the things is look at the volume of the ingredients. Like, for instance, I've seen a cake on Instagram once that said it was a high protein cake. And I looked at it and all of the ingredients are like normal cake ingredients. And then it was like 2 tablespoons of protein powder. And it's like, well, there's no way this is like good macros.
I thought if you added protein powder in any amount, it's automatically a high protein recipe.
No.
Does this mean I can't like roll my Oreos in protein powder and call them high protein cookies?
Depends on how much protein powder you get on them, I guess.
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna keep doing it my way, I think.
Yeah, it's like throwing a teaspoon of protein powder into the ocean and being like, this is a high protein ocean.
Yeah.
It's I guess it's maybe the same people that marketed for what's that shitty drink that tastes like one strawberry Skittle in a bucket of water? Little LaCroix.
Oh, LaCroix.
It's the
Yeah,
LaCroix of high protein recipes.
I can't let you sit here and badmouth LaCroix like this. It's one of my favorites.
Sorry, not sorry.
Have you seen the videos on TikTok about LaCroix where it's like somebody across the room sniffs a watermelon while a guy fills the glass up with water, and it's like, this is how you make LaCroix. I wish I knew that guy's name to give him credit.
High protein recipes that I've seen online.
Oh man, yeah. So it is a lot like that sometimes.
Yeah, this was made near a big thing of protein powder, so it is clearly high protein osmosis.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, you could, protein powder is an obvious one in the recipe or in the ingredient list, but you can also just kind of look for what you think is going to be the source of the protein in the recipe.
Yeah.
Like, so it's going to be the protein powder or some sort of tofu or TVP, seitan, something like that. And you can almost, to a certain extent, kind of ignore the rest of the recipe and just be like, how much protein is in that ingredient and how much is that spread throughout the recipe? So
yeah.
If it's just, like you said, a couple tablespoons of a powder or a couple of ounces of TVP or something like that, the whole recipe is obviously not going to end up high protein.
Yeah. And like the more you do kind of a gut check on this, the better you'll get at it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten a little too good at guessing how much calories and protein are in things just by looking.
Yeah.
It's a superpower that's not very useful.
Yeah. Yeah, and as far as protein powder goes, you don't actually need to use it in a lot of recipes. Most of the time, or a lot of the time, maybe you're better off doing like a protein shake. But you really only need to do those if you kind of want to bring up the average protein of your day, if you have like a really high protein target.
Yeah. So like, for instance, if you're targeting between 25 and 30% of your calories should be protein, if you're eating 25 to 30% protein meals and snacks throughout the day, you don't usually need a protein shake. But if you're averaging more around the 20% protein per calorie on all your meals and snacks, then you probably are going to need like a protein shake or something that's more like 50, 60% protein to bring up the overall average of your day.
Yeah, and protein shakes and protein powder, you don't have to think much about that for the most part. They're all really high protein. There are variances there. But you do want to be careful with something like a protein bar, because a lot of protein bars are only like 20 to 30% protein, especially the vegan ones. So you really need to try to look out for like the very high protein bars.
Yeah.
One I like for high protein, I know you don't like the flavor of, is No Cow, because they have like one of the higher protein percentages.
Yeah, so the way you can tell if a protein bar is high protein is usually how bad it tastes.
There's some truth to that for sure.
Like the more it tastes like a candy bar, the more you're SOL.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting much protein from that.
Yeah.
You're eating a candy bar.
Right. Yeah. And so, ideally, because like protein shakes, a lot of people don't like the way that tastes. Protein bars, a lot of people don't really like those very much. It's better to try to get the protein into your food.
Yeah.
And so one of the go-to things that people do is to like just mix protein powder into food. But a lot of times that can make it taste worse and doesn't really give you the benefit. Like maybe sometimes you'd be better off just drinking a protein shake and eating the food you like.
Yeah. Honestly, like 10 years ago, I bought this book that was around adding protein powder to your food, cooking with protein powder. And I tried like, I don't know, maybe 10 recipes out of it. And they were all not very good. And so I've come up with this thing, like if protein powder makes the food taste worse significantly, I'm just going to choose to eat the food by itself and then drink a protein shake.
Right.
Like I'm not going to make like protein cookies with protein powder that taste like trash.
Yeah.
I'm just going to eat a cookie and then drink some protein powder to offset it.
Yeah. And there are some cases where it doesn't even change the taste that much. It just changes the texture so much that you'd rather not eat it that way.
Yeah, it can make it really gritty depending on what you're using it in.
Yeah. So some ways, instead of protein powder, to get more protein into your food are some of the ingredients that you'll see in a lot of the recipes we use. The first one of those maybe is TVP.
Yeah, TVP is a great one. It's around, I think, 60% protein for a lot of the typical brands like Bob's Red Mill. But then if you look into Say Grace protein, which is more niche, but theirs is like 90% protein. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they use some kind of process that like concentrates the soy and like super defats it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can use TVP in all kinds of ways. You can bake with it. You can obviously make savory things with it. We use it for literally anything. We make muffins out of it, cookies. What else do we use?
You can put TVP into your oatmeal, and it's kind of like a lot of people put protein powder in your oatmeal, but that makes it crazy concrete mix. And I like it, but a lot of people really don't like it.
I don't like it.
If you put TVP instead into your oatmeal, you really don't even notice much of a difference in taste or texture. It's just kind of like oatmeal, but there's TVP in it. So
when I eat it like that, I can't even tell which parts are TVP and which parts are oatmeal.
yeah, it's really, really popular.
You can use it in breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
High protein breadcrumbs. You can use it as breadcrumbs on top of like a casserole or something.
Yeah, we kind of use it as like fake bacon bits too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Works good in like tacos or chilies or anywhere you would use like ground fake meat.
Yeah.
But this isn't super processed because TVP is just defatted soy flour.
Yeah, and we've got recipes on the website to go either in a sweet or savory direction, so you can use it in a lot of different ways.
Oh, I really like using it as like a grain substitute, like a rice substitute. It's really great to use as like a base for, I don't know, like curries.
Oh yeah.
If you were going to use rice, you could use some seasoned TVP, or you could use it as like a rice / quinoa substitute and like stuffed bell peppers.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Bell peppers they're really good with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it adds like a ton of protein and keeps it pretty low calorie.
Yeah, for sure.
Super easy to use too.
Yeah. So another option is edamame puffs, which we recently had an interesting experience with.
Okay, so I made high protein Rice Krispies with these, and then I posted it online as you do. And then I think it got pretty popular because the next thing I know, in a couple weeks, you can't really buy those on Amazon anymore. They are completely sold out. So we've been having to try to find a different supplier.
Yeah.
So Smart for Life is not available as of this podcast. I have since found KYSU.
Right.
Soy Krispies is what they call theirs.
Yeah. And so we took that to the next level. And if you happen to read Veg News, we got a little spot in Veg News for the summer edition, and it features this the recipe that uses these edamame puffs that nobody can buy right now. So we hope they come back in stock.
You're welcome, Smart for Life, and also I'm sorry.
Yeah. But as far as the puffs themselves, they have a nice crunchy texture. That's why we use them in the Rice Krispie treats. You can also use them on top of some like brownies or some other kind of mixes.
Yeah.
Did like a protein bar thing with them, right?
Right. Yeah. You can use them in chocolate for like a crunch bar type thing that's really high protein. We used them in homemade peanut butter cups.
Yeah, that's right.
To add like a crunchy taste to it. Yeah, they don't really have their own flavor, so you can kind of use them wherever just for a crunchy bite. Similar to the texture of puffed rice, which is why we liked them for Rice Krispies.
Yeah, it's just like the chocolate bars you have that have the Krispies inside of my
the brand. I think it's Crunch Bar.
Crunch Bar, yeah. It's just like, it tastes just like Crunch Bar, yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people like just throw them in cereal with whatever normal cereal they're eating. Cause
makes sense.
They're like 80% protein or something.
I throw those in oatmeal too. I haven't done that yet, but I don't see any reason not to really.
They might get soggy. I don't know.
My oatmeal is pretty dry.
Yeah, your oatmeal doesn't look like oatmeal. It's gross, guys.
Oh no, that's not fair.
It's real nasty. You'll never see it as a recipe on the website.
I put it on Instagram once, and people didn't seem to be super in favor of it. But very high protein. So
okay, there are other ways to make high protein oatmeal. And it's good on smoothie bowls. Because it adds like a nice textural crunch to a smoothie bowl.
Yeah, those are really good. And we'll have in the show notes a couple of recipes for each one of these ingredients we're talking about, so you'll be able to kind of try a couple things out. The next one we use a ton is Silken tofu.
I love Silken tofu. I think that is the coolest kind of tofu.
It is really cool. I didn't really know much about tofu in general before I went vegan. I had never even heard of Silken tofu before I went vegan, and it would have been useful in so many different things.
Oh, I know. This is like, I feel like one of the best kept secrets in the vegan community because, I mean, just anyone with a protein goal would benefit so much by just using Silken tofu. It's a really great for like just any kind of creamy food you're making. It's a great substitute for like dairy or something that you would normally use, and it gives you way more protein. Like We've been using it a lot as a mayo substitute.
Yeah.
You know, mayonnaise is almost 100% fat.
Yeah.
But if you can make mayonnaise out of silken tofu, it's around 60% protein.
Right.
And then we've been making salad dressings out of it.
Yeah, we also had the coleslaw.
Oh yeah, the coleslaw was really good.
Yeah.
High protein coleslaw.
Yeah.
What else? Sour
cheese,
cream.
Cheese sauce.
Oh yeah, you can make a high protein cheese sauce. Yeah, you can make a high protein sour cream. We use it as a base in protein pasta sauces all the time. Like it makes a really good Alfredo sauce.
Yeah, we go through cases of this stuff. So.
Yeah, we buy 12 packs on Amazon.
Yeah, it's super good. Also shelf stable silken tofu, so you can buy it and just kind of keep it around.
Yeah, you don't have to keep it in your fridge. And if you just don't want to cook anything, you could just throw it in your favorite smoothie for extra protein. It makes it really creamy.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and we've been using it for like potato salads, chickpea salads. It's great for any kind of casseroles or like dips.
Yeah.
Basically anything where you would have a creamy texture, silken tofu is the go-to to make it high protein.
Yeah.
I'm convinced you could make anything creamy, high protein with silken tofu.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good uses.
Oh, yeah, we made brownies out of it recently.
Oh, that's right. I forgot the brownies.
Those were really good.
Those were so good, yeah.
It was kind of like an egg and milk substitute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked really well.
Yeah, high protein brownies. What do you know?
Yeah. Oh, and we made a high protein pizza crust with it.
Yeah, that was super good.
I can't say enough good things about silken tofu.
Yeah, we use quite a bit of it. Next, we have nutritional yeast, also known as Nooch. Goes on top of lots of things.
Yeah, it has a shocking amount of protein as well.
Yeah.
And it basically just makes anything cheesy.
Yeah.
And this is another one of those ingredients where it's like, I don't know why non-vegans aren't using it, because you always hear, you know, like people that are watching their calories and like trying to hit protein goals. They're always like, what can I substitute cheese for to get the cheese flavor? And they'll even buy like that fat-free cheese that just looks really gross. Like you could just use nutritional yeast and it's super high protein and it tastes really good. It's not super processed. Like
you could use it pretty much anywhere you would use like a normal sprinkle cheese, but you could also use it in a lot of places where you probably wouldn't use it.
Yeah. And it's really great for like cheese sauces or like Alfredo. If you're dairy intolerant, like a great way to actually make an Alfredo sauce or anything cheesy.
And then you don't have to use so much of like the oil-based vegan cheeses and stuff.
Yeah, which, man, trying to cook with those is a pain in the ass because they're pretty much just coconut oil.
They just melt into oil.
They just become flavored oil.
Yeah. The nutritional yeast is also usually fortified with vitamin B12, which as vegans, obviously that's the one thing we really have to supplement. But even if you're not vegan, a lot of people have B12 deficiency issues. We're trying to keep it up to the levels they should. So, I mean, I think it's a good thing to have in the kitchen, maybe even on the table all the time.
Yeah, we go through it like crazy.
Yeah. Next up, the kind of quintessential vegan protein, tofu in general, just normal tofu.
Yeah, tofu in general is awesome. You can do so much with it. You can shred it, you can slice it, shave it.
Bop it.
Bop it. Pull it, twist it, bop it.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like what people think of as a fake meat or a meat replacement, but I mean, it's really even got uses in that. So we use it on lots of things. We use
you can use it as crumbles in like a chili.
Oh yeah.
Or like taco meat. Like I don't know. I don't really like Beyond or Impossible meat personally.
Weird, a little bit of a weird taste.
Yeah, I don't really like most fake meats, to be completely honest. So if I can use tofu in something, I'm just gonna choose that.
Yeah. So when do you think you would use the normal tofu versus the silken tofu?
So if I'm gonna blend something, I'm using silken.
Yeah.
But if I want something that's like hearty, or like if I'm gonna do slices of it, if I'm gonna cook it in a pan, that's when I'm gonna use like firm tofu.
Right.
But I usually go with super firm tofu. It's already pre-pressed, so you don't have to mess with a tofu press.
Right.
And the macros are pretty good. It's just a lot easier to handle, in my opinion.
Yeah. And normal tofu, you do have to keep in the refrigerator.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been really liking using a vegetable peeler to get really thin slices on the tofu, and then you can cook those in a pan and make them into like, I don't know, like Philly cheesesteak style sandwiches.
Yeah, we've had a few of those. Those have been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm starting to think you're a pretty good cook.
I don't know. Oh, and you can use it for like cream cheese.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The firm tofu, you can make that into cream cheese. You can use, and you can make it into a ricotta, like a homemade high protein ricotta for lasagnas and stuff.
Yeah, we did that one time. It's almost lasagna time of year again in the fall.
I know. I'm so excited for fall.
Yeah. Awesome. Next, something that people may not have even heard of or used before, soy flour. So
Yeah.
I think we're still figuring out exactly the right places to use this, but there's definitely a place for it.
Yeah, we've been using it in, I mean, mostly baked things. I
Yeah.
think you have to cook that.
Yeah.
So we used it in protein brownies.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually don't notice much of a textural difference in the brownies because they're just so gooey anyways.
Yeah.
And then we did a high protein pizza crust where we did half all purpose flour and half soy flour, and I thought it tasted really good.
Yeah.
It had kind of like a more crispy texture
Yeah, it
than
did seem
most
like that a little
pizza
bit.
crusts do,
Yeah.
but I really liked it.
Yeah. No, definitely no downsides, and it's more protein than
Yeah,
normal flour,
it's
obviously.
it's basically the same protein percentage as like a protein powder,
Yeah.
but it's not flavored. It doesn't really have a flavor.
Right.
Most soy products don't really have much of a taste.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. Also, while we're on soy milk. This is like the highest protein alternative milk out there.
yeah,
So,
the highest of all the non-dairy milks for
right.
sure. I think it's about 40% protein per
Yeah.
calorie.
Yeah. So if you got anything you're making and you just need a little extra protein, you could splash in some soy milk. Maybe I use soy milk for my oatmeal in the morning instead of using
Yeah.
water to get a little more protein in there.
Oh, I also like to use it in sauces.
Yeah.
Like if you're making an Alfredo sauce or if you're making like a vegan queso, it's really good.
Yeah.
I think it just soy milk's also super creamy.
Right.
So it's not just that it has high protein, but it's like a really creamy neutral flavor.
Yeah, soy milk, probably soy milk and maybe oat milk are really the only two I can actually just like drink if I wanted
Yeah.
to, because the flavor is kind of mild. The other ones are a little weird.
Yeah, like almond milk. I used to be really into almond milk because it's so low calorie, but to be honest, it's basically like water.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So soy milk's pretty much all that's in our fridge anymore.
Yeah. Next up, something we've been doing a lot with recently, and we've done a lot with even in the past, is Vital Wheat Gluten.
Damn, that stuff is really cool.
Yeah, our first experience with it was making the little protein donut hole things that we have on the website. But you've done a lot recently with seitan variations.
I've been kind of losing my mind with seitan because I had never cooked with it before. So like the last couple of weeks, we have made chocolate seitan,
Oh man,
which
that was ridiculously good, honestly.
it just sounds like really stupid,
Yeah.
but it's delicious.
Yeah, it was one of those like, oh, we'll just leave this out. It might last a week, and you just found yourself picking pieces of it, and it's gone in a day and a half.
It was, yeah, but it was like 40% protein,
Yeah.
even with all the sugar and the cocoa powder.
Yeah,
Man, it looks really gross.
I think that actually looks pretty cool.
It looks like little shriveled up balls, but it's
Oh yes, that version. That version did look a little weird. The devil's testicles or Satan's testicles or whatever we were trying to think of the name for.
we don't have a good name for it yet, and picture-wise, I'm not sure how many people we can convince to make it, but it is like one of the most delicious things I've ever made.
Yeah.
Like, I think they should sell these in stores.
Oh, they're super good.
They're gonna have to do something with the marketing though, because like they don't look appealing
No.
at all. You're just gonna have to take my word for it, and you're gonna have to make it.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you would think like seitan and chocolate. Like you wouldn't even think it tastes good.
Yeah.
Even after you see them made, they look a little weird, but man, they're delicious.
They're just like chewy little brownies. They
Yeah.
taste like
Yeah.
really, really chewy brownies, similar to like the texture of mochi almost.
Yeah, it's like a mochi, and you would think with wheat gluten maybe it'd be like bread, but it's really not like that at
No,
all.
it's
Yeah.
really chewy.
Yeah. Also, the different actual just seitans we've made.
Yeah.
So we're looking to do a lot more with seitan kind of going forward and delving into making our own. So we've got some stuff coming up for that.
Yeah.
There's actually a recipe on the site right now for the shredded seitan steak, quote unquote, right?
Yeah, it works really well in like tacos and anything
Yeah.
Mexicanish because
Yeah, I
we
had
use
several burritos with
taco
it.
seasoning.
Yeah, it's really good. Cool.
More seitan to come.
Yeah.
Hail seitan.
So also, last but not least, we have red lentils. We use this in a lot of our pastas and stuff, but there's some other uses for it as well.
Yeah, my main thing is just red lentil pasta.
Yeah.
I use that. I mean, I just feel like that is the hack to be able to eat pasta, whatever you want.
Yeah, it doesn't taste quite like normal pasta, but it's close enough, and it's pretty high protein compared to normal pasta.
Oh yeah, and like compared to its cousin, the chickpea pasta, I much prefer red lentil. The chickpea pasta gets like real mushy and tacky. red lentil pasta, I actually really like it. I think the only thing that's different is it's a little bit chewier maybe than normal
A little
pasta.
bit. Yeah, a little bit.
That doesn't bother me at
Not
all.
nearly as noticeable as the chickpea pasta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes in all kinds of different shapes. You got like spaghetti and penne, and they even make like outer space shapes.
Oh, yeah.
Fun for kids of all ages.
That's true.
Including me.
Yes. They also have like red lentil waffles, red lentil wraps, for stuff like that. So there's a lot of good uses for that. Just a little boost in the protein over something you'd maybe eat just kind of flour or carb based anyway. So I think those are a lot of the ingredients we're using to kind of get a little more protein into our recipes without having to resort to protein powder. Like I said, we'll link to some recipes for each of these ingredients that we already have.
Yeah, and this is just something that we kind of like to do. We don't really love protein powder that much, so we just try to eat around our protein target in all of our meals so that we don't have to rely on protein powder.
Yeah. And if you do need some protein powder to hit your protein goal for the day, there's no problem with that. It's just a lot of people don't really like the flavor or the texture or can't find one they like.
For some reason, I don't know what it is. Protein powders are disgusting to me.
Yeah.
I just really...
I've seen a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah. It's like I would drink a protein shake every day and it would be like the thing I dreaded most.
Yeah.
Same with EAAs. I just like, I would dread it. I'd be like, oh no, it's time to drink this. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of grew up with protein powders, so I'm used to it, but it's always best to have it in food anyway. Like, even if you like protein powder, it's better to get it in your food if you can.
Right, it keeps you fuller for longer too, so.
Right. Cool. Well, I think that's it for this episode. We're going to try to go forward and release these on Monday mornings now. We didn't really have a schedule with the quote unquote first season, right? They're not really seasons, but we didn't really have a schedule before. So we're trying to structure this a little more going forward. And so we're going to release this on Monday morning and hopefully every Monday morning from now on. So.
And if anyone's listening and has ideas for things they'd like to hear about or topics or recipe ideas of things you'd like to see on the website, yeah, shoot us a message.
Yeah, reach out. We're going to have all the social media links on how to reach us in the show notes as well. Plus, you can always just come to the website, comment on the recipes or the blog articles, or use the contact forms. We answer all those things. So we've been getting a lot of cool questions lately. I'm looking forward to hearing more. I think that about wraps us up for this week. You want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye, everybody.